So I lived in a haunted house for 4 years. Seriously, there were things that happened in that house that I will never forget. Now, some of this is going to be hard to believe, but it happened. Now, as we progress through the series, I'm going to do my best to explain to you what I believe was happening, and more importantly, how I dealt with it. So if this is right up your alley, then get ready, because it's about to get weird.
Cat's out of the bag.
Now, I don't know about you, but growing up, I was a huge movie guy. I loved watching anything that had to do with supernatural stuff or ships blowing up in space. I loved it all. Now, there were a couple of movies that I watched over the years that really stuck with me, and one of those movies was The Truman Show. Now, I've heard a lot of people talk over the years about how this movie kind of lingered with them, but I can guarantee you I have a pretty different reason why it lingered with me. Now, if you've never seen the movie without any spoilers, long story short, he's being observed. His entire life is a TV show and he doesn't know it. And I've always wondered, what if we're being observed? Oh, we got it. Oh, man. Hey, buddy, listen. The heck was that? Okay, that was weird. Oh!
Hey man, listen up.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, hey, listen. We gotta make this quick. I'm not supposed to be talking to you.
Wait, how is this happening right now?
Listen, don't worry about it. This is important. I'm real. The monsters, the people, everybody in here is real.
Okay.
Alright, man, whatever you do not reset or turn off the game. If you do, I'm gonna forget everything we've talked about. Okay, during this specific playthrough, I had this informant hit me up, and he gave me some information about how you can free us.
Wait, why this specific playthrough?
Well, you've given us a lot of time. I mean, you've been playing for 13 hours straight.
Are you sure? That doesn't sound right.
Yeah, it's true. But here's the thing. Before you set us free, I gotta tell you something. I feel like you deserve to know, man.
Okay, what is it?
You're in a video game too.
Mine must be the lowest selling video game of all time because my life is boring as crap.
No, don't turn it off.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Oh, you told me not to. Oh my gosh, maybe it's on sleep mode. Now, when I was a kid back in the 80s and the 90s, I'm sure like a lot of kids, your parents forced you to go to church. Now, when I was in church, I had a hard time with it for several reasons, but one big reason was praying. Now, it wasn't necessarily the act of praying itself. It's what happened to me when I prayed. Now, when I would close my eyes, I would feel like I was being watched. When I would close my eyes, I would immediately see people in white lab coats standing behind a glass, observing me. It happened so often that I couldn't even close my eyes. Like I would have to sit there and squint and act like my eyes were closed because I didn't want to see these people. I didn't want to see these people looking at me. Now, it's pretty odd, right? I mean, I've never really heard anybody talk about this before, but that's what happened, and it happened to me all the time. Now, when I lived in this haunted house, I had a lot of strange experiences happen, but this is one of those that I just can't quite explain to this day. So I had a girl that I was dating at the time, and she was really bad about picking up stray animals. And we were dating, and I was, trying to keep her happy, so I let her bring the animals to my house a lot. Now, she had a dog, and then she picked up 2 other cats over a few months. Now, I'm not against animals at all. I have a cat now. I love her. But I'm not a big fan of having a lot of animals, mainly because they get kind of crazy at night when you're trying to sleep. So I would put the animals in the middle bedroom at night so they wouldn't bother me so I could sleep. And I'd keep the door shut so they couldn't get out. Well, one night I'm laying in bed and I'm reading a book. And out of nowhere, the corner of the blanket yanks down. And I'm talking yanks down hard. So much so that I jumped out of bed because I thought the cats were trying to climb up the bed. I jump out of bed and I'm thinking, how did they get out of the bedroom? I look over the corner of the bed and they're not there. So I jump out of bed thinking they ran off. Well, I ran through the doorway. I ran around the corner and they weren't there. I looked up and the door was shut. Now I'm thinking to myself, maybe the door shut when they went in. I don't know. I was just trying to make sense of it. So I walk over and I turn the handle of the door and I open the door up. I flick the light on and I get the most confused look from my cats sitting there cleaning themselves. Like, what's your problem? I stared at them for a second. I turned the light off and I shut the door. I walked back to the bedroom very confused and couldn't quite make sense of it. Now, the reason that I bring up the Truman Show and the reason that I bring up, praying and feeling like I'm being watched is because I think we really are being observed. I believe in God, and I believe God sees us all the time. I believe in angels. I believe in demons. But there's also a scripture in the Bible that really makes me think, and it's that we are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Now, what is this talking about specifically? Now, there are definitely people out there way more knowledgeable than me about this scripture, but it makes me wonder, is it just God, angels, demons, or do people see us? Is there an observation room that people watch our lives? They see what we're doing. Think about it. We live in a world where we think we come up with the ideas for movies. We sit there in front of a screen and watch. Well, I believe that our world functions in a certain way where God put all these elements here for us to put together and create from. It's almost like building with Legos. The Legos are already here, but we put the Legos together to build our own creation. But we're not actually creating necessarily. It's like you can use the Legos to build a castle. You can use the same Legos to build a spaceship. So our ideas for entertainment, making videos just like this, making movies, it came from somewhere. It started from somewhere, and that somewhere I believe is God. So it makes me wonder, are people in heaven observing us? Are they watching us? Now, once you start thinking about this, it definitely makes you live life a little bit differently. So think about this. If you had a security camera in the corner of your living room and anybody could watch you, you would probably treat life a little bit differently, right? What if we're always being watched? In reality, we know one thing for sure, that God sees everything that we do. And if we think that way, it makes it easier to make good decisions in our life. Now, again, I know the situation's kind of weird with the cat. I don't quite understand it, but it showed me that someone or something is there. That moment made it crystal clear. So I really hope that this makes you think. But I will say this, after realizing that I am being observed, I started paying more attention to it. And it led to the point of running into the shadow men. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. So there's a link on the screen or at the top of the description. It leads to episode 1 of a 3-part series that lays the foundation of everything that we're talking about. So check that out. And stick around because I've got a lot more coming and it just gets weirder. I'll see you next time.